Mark Grayson, better known as Invincible, but also, hear me out here, the only Invincible across the entire multiverse that is not a crash out. And so today, we aren't just talking about a single crash out, we're talking about a war against an army of them. But, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the long-awaited So right out the gate, them boys didn't waste any time because they split up and start leveling cities. And in the midst of their carnage, Mark is over there laid up with Eve, while his variants are out here throwing them hard hitters against anybody they catch lacking. So Mark and Eve pull up to the prison and one of his top 5 variants is over here having a field day. I'm not gonna lie, this one might be the craziest because he over here smiling at the destruction like it's a work of art.
But really, nigga, I just like to fight!
And then proceeds to punch Mark square in his dick.
Come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
Mark just got punched in his nuts by crazy alien boy with Saiyan strength and somehow can still fight. The man gotta have junk of steel. So Mark knocks out Invincible and some other heroes show up, and you would think, if you're in Mark's shoes, that they're here to help. But these heroes have been out here fighting the Crash Out army, and whenever they see an Invincible, they just see red, and, well, they start beating Mark's ass.
Get him up, let him get up, let him get up, let him get up. Fight back, nigga. Fight back, nigga. Fight back. Fight.
I mean, straight up whooping that boy into the ground. But you know who was enjoying this? Powerplex. Man was about to start spreading the gospel of Invincible hate until he got knocked out. So as the world is watching the Invincibles tear up the world out here, everybody is out here fighting for their lives. Even Cecil was out here catching them knuckle sandwiches. But I gotta say, this man was still walking after getting a black eye from an Invincible, so Cecil really gotta be a real one out here. Because right after he gets done taking out one of these Invincibles, he shines the bat signal. But here's my question for you. Why all these heroes ain't already out here fighting these crash outs? If they in every country, destroying cities, taking out buildings, all over the news, why y'all not out here? What y'all was doing? Changing that baby's diaper? So all the late heroes, yeah, they late, cause everybody on the front lines fighting a Mark and y'all just going through a portal, because even Oliver is out here. But even he runs into one of these murderous Crash Out Invincibles and is probably about to catch the fate of a century. So the heroes are out here jumping an Invincible, and to be honest, maybe we should have left all of them at home because they not even putting up a scratch on him. It's 5 of y'all, bro, and he barely even bleeding. He got more blood on his hands from the people he's killed than what y'all done did to him. Even Oliver is doing more damage to the Invincible he fighting. Well, not really, because this man taking his hits like he got a massage. So everybody out here fighting Invincibles, and they out here either dropping them or getting dropped. Bro even got the baby dropped, y'all. He just dropped this big man on this goddamn baby. A baby who honestly probably shouldn't even been on this battlefield. But the next person to get dropped probably could have been avoided. But when you think about it, Eve didn't want to leave her man with these crazy crash outs. But also, girl, what you about to do against them?
Come on now, dawg.
You ain't even unlocked your final form yet, mamas. What you think you about to do against Mark?
Come on, man.
So after she gets dropped, and I mean, boy, she gets dropped. That man literally cracked the pavement on that girl. Cecil cuts in to save Mark and Eve. And right after this, we cut to the Guardians hideout, and oh boy, this Mark is in here remaking the Omni-Man scene from season 1. Cause he's sitting there molly-whopping them boys, and as Immortal comes up and starts punching him in the face, this man is sitting here smiling at the fact that he's getting punched out by the Immortal. He in it for the love of the game. And like I said, he's basically out there reenacting when Omni-Man waxed the original Guardians, but the difference is he's not taking it nearly as serious. The only reason the hideout didn't end up getting leveled was because Darkwing trapped him in the abyss of darkness, but the man dropped all of them like light work. Had that man Immortal staring at his love while his head was torn off his body. We didn't even get to see how Black Samson got dropped over here. So as everybody is over here getting dropped, and the Invincibles are out here going on the kill streak of the century. Robot and them are over there fighting their own variant, who honestly is not messing around. He ain't like the last one we just saw. This man is out for literal blood. And in the midst of him dropping everyone, Rex stands up and starts fighting the variant by himself, which gave his friends time to get away. But as you most likely have guessed, Rex ain't taking out an Invincible by himself. And the messed up part about all this is Rex had found love. He was changing for the better in terms of being a dickhead, because Lord Jesus, he was a dickhead. And unfortunately, even though he was putting everything into taking out that Invincible, the only way for him to take out the variant was to go full on Vegeta. And with nothing else to blow up, this man reached into his wound, touched his own skeleton, and turned himself into a living bomb, just for his new girlfriend to drive up and see the explosion as Rex made the ultimate sacrifice. To be honest, I can't even believe it's been 3 days of this. 3 days of the Invincibles running rampant, 3 days of bodies getting dropped, and after 3 days, the only ones that have survived meet up with Angstrom at Mark's house. But here's the thing, Angstrom called up all these variants thinking they were gonna do what he asked, but they were about to turn on him and torture him because Angstrom didn't factor in that they are all literal goddamn crash outs. And so what does Angstrom do? The same thing he did when Mark was finna run his fade, kicked them into a random dimension. And that was basically the end of the Invincible War. But not this goddamn video. Because what Angstrom also didn't take into account is that Mark may not be evil, but he is still a goddamn crash out. And he immediately ran up on that man, trying to kill him for the second time. So Mark is trying to fight him, but Angstrom just hitting that man with balls. And listen, I know what you're thinking, and I am not going to put a cliche joke or pause. We're just gonna keep the video going, okay? I know y'all heard that. I know y'all thinking it. I know y'all want me to throw something in here, but I'm not doing it. So enjoy the rest of the video. So, Mark is taking the onslaught of Angstrom's attacks, getting sliced up by the wave of balls that Angstrom is sitting there throwing at him. And eventually, Angstrom runs out of balls and is staring at Mark while he's holding him by his neck. But as Mark is sitting there second guessing himself, the real crash out of the family pulls up, and that crash out is Oliver. And at this point, his daddy's side is probably coming out because he is begging Mark to kill this man. Like, please punch that man through the goddamn head. But unfortunately, Angstrom gets away. And it feels like Angstrom don't know anything, even though he got that big old brain in his, because he didn't know that he playing with these surgeons just for them to basically make him a slave because he couldn't deliver on the promise that he gave them. And the aftermath of this war was insane, to say the least. There was barely any city that wasn't affected by the onslaught that was the Invincible War. And I just gotta say, Powerplex is probably over there preaching the gospel of hating Invincible. But as Mark is out here trying to help cities rebuild and save face, another threat appears before Mark.
Stand ready for these hands, boy.